All parties and concerned AP government students at Alia versus Electoral College, please step forward.
These AP government students are suing the Electoral College for being undemocratic and an unfit way to elect the President of the United States of America. The Electoral College claims that its structure makes sure that the candidates pay attention to a diverse group of Americans.
All rise. This is the case of AP government students versus Electoral College. Thank you. All parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Students, you are claiming that the Electoral College is an unfit way to elect a president. Do you have any evidence to support this? That is a very strong argument. All right, I want to get a better understanding of what the Electoral College is. Electoral College, explain yourself.
Electoral College was designed in 1787 when our Constitution was written in order to elect a president. The 538 electors are divided among the 50 states and the District of Columbia and is based mostly on population.
Hold on. How was 538 decided?
That is the number of senators plus representatives in the House.
And why is it based mostly on population?
Because each state is automatically given 3 electors, even though, for example, the state of Wyoming has less than 600,000 people.
Excuse me, was I talking to you?
No.
Continue.
Yes, each state and DC has 3 electoral votes before the rest are distributed based off population. Basically, it's the number of federal congressmen a state has, senators plus representatives. That is how many electoral votes a state gets.
So how are these votes awarded to the candidates?
The candidate that gets the majority of the votes in the statewide election wins all the electoral votes.
And thus we run into our first of many problems.
Objection, she cannot interrupt me.
For purposes of plot, your objection is overruled. What is the problem?
The winner-take-all system makes it irrelevant whether the candidate won by 1 vote or by 1 million. This discourages candidates from campaigning in and forming their platform around states they know will vote a certain way. In the same way, it also discourages people from voting. In states that usually vote for a Democratic candidate, conservatives are discouraged from voting because they know that their presidential vote won't count.
Conservatives not voting isn't really a bad thing.
Hush. The same thing happens in strong red states for liberals.
Look, the reason for the Electoral College is the same reason that we live in a republic and not a direct democracy. This is to prevent mob rule by the increasingly more populous urban areas from the pushing initiatives that would become detrimental to people living in rural areas.
That is a legitimate concern, and whether or not states or people should choose the president is a difference in political philosophy. But that doesn't make a difference. The Electoral College doesn't work to fix either of those problems. The Electoral College was designed in 1787. It has not aged well. It isn't built for the modern world.
Electoral College has worked well enough. 93% of the time, the Electoral College is matched up with the popular vote. It's fine the way it is.
Right, and the Electoral College has worked so well and is so well designed that every other country in the world has replicated it. Except they haven't. They've come up with better ideas. I can see why you're in love with the broken election system. It seems like you use a broken election system to choose the clothes you wear.
Order! All right. So if you don't like the Electoral College, what do you suggest we have instead?
I'm so glad you asked. Literally anything else would work better.
Kinda. But the thing we support the most, because it's the most practical and most likely to happen, is the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact.
Also known as NPVIC.
NPVIC. If a state agrees to be part of the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact, then the state will give all of its electoral votes to the candidate that wins the national popular vote, ensuring that the candidate that wins the popular vote wins the election.
In order for the interstate agreement to go into effect, however, enough states with electoral votes that add up to 270, the number needed to win the Electoral College. So far, only 10 districts, California, DC, Hawaii, Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Washington, totaling 165 electoral votes, have agreed to the compact.
But why wouldn't you do it through a constitutional amendment, or why not through Congress? And is that constitutional?
A constitutional amendment is really difficult to pass.
And federal Congress can't do anything because voting is controlled by the state governments. The federal government has very little jurisdiction over voting procedures.
And aren't you a judge? Yes, it's constitutional. The Constitution says that the states can allocate votes however they choose.
Alright, well, I have heard enough.
Wait. I don't get a final statement?
No.
Why not? What? I demand that I get time to.
Look, you had your time, plus the video's already too long. Anyway, like I was saying, I have heard enough. I would rule in favor of the concerned students, but I don't really have any jurisdiction over this. Goodbye and good luck.
Parties are excused. You may step down.
These personal attacks were uncalled for, and I was denied my final statements.
I was honestly hoping for a little more. We also should have gone to someone with more authority.
The Electoral College has worked out fine. Changing it is just going to create controversy. If it was good enough for the founding fathers, it's good enough for us.
The Electoral College was created because the founders didn't trust the people. But today the people are much more educated.
And information is so much more widespread. People can make decisions on their own. The whole process is just unnecessary baloney.